Presently, I work as an independent safety consultant across all modes of transportation. I started in the automotive industry. And like many of the people that I ran into in the aviation business, they too started in the automotive business. When I was an early teenager, 14, 15 years old, it was a local garage gas station that I hung out and pumped gas, fixed cars. And then when I got my license, I was driving a tow truck, picking up the cars that had accidents and the pieces of cars that were involved in accidents. And ironically, I went to work as a mechanic in the airline business, and then many years later, I find myself doing accidents and accident investigation in the aviation transportation mode. And after about 20 years of doing that, I had the opportunity to become a board member of the National Transportation Safety Board. Now, a board member is a presidential appointment with Senate confirmation, so it's a big deal. For somebody with my background coming out of teenager working on cars and working on airplanes, I was the first person to ever do that. And it was quite an eye-opener getting there. I thought I knew a lot because I did a lot of things with accidents, but the NTSB opened my eyes because their mandate by law is to investigate all kinds of modal accidents. So my view of transportation and transportation accidents really expanded. Now, one of the things that we do at the NTSB, and I did when I was there, was really dig into the minutia. Right? So it's not just, everybody thinks we're just there for a great big plane crash and with the airplane scattered in little pieces and a lot of people hurt. But in reality, we do a tremendous number of what in the collision business you would call fender benders, because those are indicators of a bigger problem sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. So we get down into it. Why did the accident happen? Was it operator error? In that case, was it pilot error? Or was it the bus driver's error, the truck driver's error? So we dig down into those and we look at the equipment. Was there an equipment failure? Now, most accidents are like a chain. There's never one thing that causes the accidents. One of the things that we had, the NTSB had for a while, was a campaign to go after all the organizations to make sure that they have their tires inspected and make sure they don't drive with tires that are out of date. And today we have so many people that are driving, they have cars, they don't use them like they used to, and the tires are out of date and they're just sitting there waiting. It's like a ticking time bomb. They're waiting to go bad, and you know, I'm sure we all have experienced this, when something's going to go bad, it only goes bad at the worst possible time. Getting people to address this beforehand is quite a chore. So the Society of Collision Repair Specialists invited me here to talk about what I see in the future and what can be done. And what I really would love to see in the future is have an organization like the National Transportation Safety Board reach out to all the shops around the country and have a system where they can report in what they see. Maybe put a bunch of parameters out there of issues that they're looking at and identify the accidents so that they can do an investigation in a timely manner. I know that's a big chore. It's asking for a lot because there's no compensation for it, but it could make a difference. You know, we fix the structure in cars so it absorbs the energy. We put seat belts and airbags in cars to protect the occupant, and I was saved myself by the airbags and seatbelt. But we're stuck around 40,000 fatals a year, and we need to lower that. So we need to start thinking out of the box. And you know, some people think that these self-driving cars are going to be the answer. But right here, a friend of mine just this week here at the show was coming from the airport here in the self-driving car, and a cab driver cut in front of them. And the person, you know, the experiment they're doing here in Las Vegas, they have a driver in the car to monitor what's going on. And the driver had to take over the self-driving car because the cab cut in front of them. So we have a ways to go before we get to the self-driving cars, and hopefully that's going to make an improvement. But if I take my NTSB hat and turn it on the side now and look at airplanes, all that automation has caused us a lot of grief in the aviation market. You know, we see the latest one with the 737 MAX, and the automation that is involved in those two accidents. But automation all the way back to the 80s, as we started to implement it in the airplanes, the more automation we had, there was always initial problems until we got it right, tweaked it. So I expect we're going to have the same problem with driverless cars. The education that I saw going on here at SEMA was second to none. It really is outstanding. And to have it done voluntarily is also unbelievable. But the professionals in the automotive business, like the professionals in the aviation business, are interested in not only giving a good product, but they're interested in their customers. And to that end, many were here filling these rooms up for the educational seminars all week long. That's invaluable. I couldn't put a price tag on that. One of the things that popped right out when I walked in the door the first time, aside from the massiveness of this place, is the pride that's put into these products. I mean, the efforts and the personal pride that these individual craftsmen put into their products is unbelievable. And the components that are out there today are much better than when I was working in the garage. There's no question about it. The quality has increased considerably. And it's a worldwide business, and we see that quality coming from all over the world.